this is the last mission, people. This is going to be my review on Hunter x Hunter, the last mission, or movie 2 as people know it. Whether or not like this movie is canon or not, I'm not particularly sure. Whether or not, since it goes between somewhere of the Chimera Ant like arc in the series, and then also somewhere between that, but then it kind of doesn't make sense with the timelines. If someone can correct me on that, then I'll greatly appreciate that. But we get to see like straight at the start that this movie is going to have a huge focus on Netero, him going against one of the guys named Jed, and we see that it goes with like back into current time with Gon and Killua, and they're back at Helen's arena, and we get to see like a lot of old characters from the series that we don't see that often since the Chimera Ant arc, and we get to see like Bisky, Zushi, Wing, like Leorio, like Kurapika. We get to see all these characters again. And it's just huge fucking nostalgia seeing like all these characters again thrown back in. It's like, oh, let's have the tournament again. Let's see like Zushi taking place. Whilst during this, he actually gets overthrown by these people known as the Shadows, who are pretty much like people who are like an old clan that vengeance of what the Hunter Association did to them, and they pretty much overtake the whole area and also as well seal away Netero's net, so they can't do anything. So it's up to Gon and gang to pretty much stop this new threat and deal with their very powerful energy known as On, which is the opposite of Nen. It's pretty much made out of pure hatred, and it's actually a lot like the specialist type, since they're able to use any type of talents you can be enhancer, transmuter, all of them pretty much compared to her. So like it's a lot like when Kurapika goes into his Scarlet Eyes and he goes into that mode. It's pretty much these guys can do that with every single one of their abilities. Now it got to start that the animation in this movie looks so good. I mean, the anime itself looks really good, but they definitely put in their time and their money into it. Like this series just like looks extremely beautiful. It's done very handcraftedly. Like music as well throughout this movie is done very well. I do like that they bring little remakes of like previous songs that we've heard from the anime, and not to mention as well, one of the ending things that we had as well is actually from the anime as well, one of the last endings of the series, which is so good, and it just brings me back sort of like a lot of nostalgia of the arc that just ended, the Chimera Ant arc in the anime. And definitely seems like it was kind of nice just to see like there's a lot of character like progression. I felt like in this movie, like we definitely see, you know, like Zushi, he's come a long way from the anime, and you see like a lot of other characters as well come into this, and feel like there's a lot of this movie definitely hits in that there's a lot of change in the characters since like they were from episode 1 to now here at the movie, which I did like about that was done. It's like when we see like one of the parts of the movie which is definitely deal with the villains themselves, Shaz, I feel like there could have been a lot more development between these characters. Still like they were just thrown in, and then definitely like their will like to be there was just like, oh, last minute saying this is the reason why they want to do this, and they want this whole book as well that contains all their secrets and all this dark power. And it's just like where this movie, where like a lot of the build up to it was saying, oh, Netero and the dark secret of the Hunter Association. I felt like they fell flat very well on on these elements. It's like really done them a lot well and better like than what we did see in the movie, because like we see a lot of interesting things about the On and like how it can possess people and what its powers can do, and like if you try to like absorb it, if you accept it, you become, you know, part of this user. You can use On but not Nen and stuff like that. And then if you don't accept it, then you die. It's like they could have done a lot more with the Jed's character, since he has a strong relation to Netero that could just literally got brought in the last moment. And not to mention as well, I felt like this anime, like the movie was like doing a lot of teasing in this like series. Like it took a while until we actually started going to fights in the series, and I felt it was a very dialogue heavy movie for the start. Like definitely had some really cool fight midway with like Gon and Killua, them going in, but it's like, and brings them a little bit more nostalgia with Gon using the old fishing pole again from like the first episode. But I felt like, yeah, like at the end it just felt very rushed, and it was like, what the fuck with Gon at the end. It's like it was a very cool moment, like with a lot of the stuff that Gon did. I don't want to go into too many spoilers and all that with the movie, but it had some very good moments, but then it just fell flat on its face during the last minutes of the movie on the final fight. Like definitely as well, I did like the movie for what it was. We did get to see some of the old characters again. We did get to see like Kurapika using his tonfas again, going against like this threat with the on. It's like you get to see, you know, Leorio as well for a short time, although they're underplayed and all that. It's like he can't do too much. It's like it's still very nice to see him. You see as well, he's Soaker in this movie as well, which is really cool. You get to see Bisky, Wings, Zushi. Like, we get to see a lot of characters in this movie, and I do like that they were incorporated. It wasn't just like the last movie. It was just like, oh, here's, you know, Gon and Killua, and then, oh, let's just throw in Kurapika and just throw in, like, Leorio. It didn't feel that much. It felt like these characters were all in the same area and they were working together, even without even being there. But definitely as well, like, movie itself was a fine movie. It just, the main issues, I felt like the baddies themselves needed to be incorporated better into the movie. I felt like they had this really strong and interesting start like there, but then midway they just kind of disappeared, and then at the end it was like, oh yeah, we need to bring this back like that. So I felt like definitely the movie's halfway point to final points were probably some of maybe like either some of its weakest and okay moments to it. Definitely, I think like the last moments of the movie at the final fight were definitely some of the weaker ones. It was like, but it definitely had some really good catches to it. Really some kind of sad moments where like music was great, animation, all that, and fights, and it just goes to show how much the series has evolved since episode 1, which I kind of, if you're a nostalgic fan, I guess, as well, then you'd like it. And I definitely say, compared to movie 1, I think movie 2, The Last Mission, is a lot better. Compared to we get to see a little bit more of the powers and all that, we get to see a little bit more of, you know, some cleverer writing and stuff. And overall, I think like if you guys enjoy it, then I definitely would recommend The Last Mission for it. Personally, I didn't get that much enjoyment out of the movie than I do with other movies that I've seen this year. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What did you think of Hunter x Hunter The Last Mission? Do you think this was a good movie? Do you think it had issues as well? But that's all for me. I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, remember, I'll see you guys next time. Remember, Savagezweipanda.